rebounds, of which 11 were offensive and 35 were defensive. Then USIU had also 46 rebounds, of which 18 were offensive and 28 were defensive. So USIU took more rebounds on offensive because they took 28 and ANU took 11. Then ANU took more of the defensive. They took 35 and USIU took 28.
Okay. What's the effectiveness of each team's three-point shooting inside the game?
The effectiveness was today USIU were on the upper hand. We had they attempted like number 10 about Abuch. He attempted 11 and made 2, so that's an 18.2%. Then this name is Vitumiko had 10 attempts and made 3. That's a 30%. Okay. Then the last one was Joshua at the end. Had attempted 14 and made 4, 28.6. When you go to ANU had Ezekiel Jock, who attempted 4 and made 2, that is 50%. Then we have Justin Opio, attempted 4 and made 1, that is 25%. And then we have Maxwell Omondi, who attempted 4 and made 2, 50%. So ANU had an upper hand on 3 points. The attempt they took, the percentage of making was higher than for USIU.
Okay.
Yes.
On the free throws shooting, how did this affect the final score?
On the free throw shooting, I'll start with USIU. We had Samuel Wakoma, who attempted 2 and made 200%. Then you have Alier Kuol, attempted 3 and made 2, 67.7%. Then we have, no, that is for ANU. And then we have Maxwell Omondi, attempted 4 and made 4, 100%.
Okay.
So their percentage on free throw was quite good and quite high.
Okay.
For USIU, we had Vitumiko, who had attempted 2, made none, 0%.
Okay. Yeah.
Then the next one was Abot Watch, went on the line 10 times and made 3.
Okay.
That was 30%.
Okay.
The only one who made 100% was Jeremiah Kamau, who attempted 2 and made 2.
Okay.
Then the last 2 was Simon Ajak. He attempted 4 and made 2. That is a 50%.
Okay.
Then the last one was Francis Chianu. Joshua at the end, who went on the line 7 times and made 1.
Okay.
So that was 14.3. So on the 3-point and free throw, ANU took the day and made a very good percentage.
Okay.
Yes.
In future, Coach, I'm sure we'll be having a big screen somewhere with all these statistics. So it will help us just point out those numbers very well. But thank you so much for that breakdown.
Yes.
Again, this is where we need to point them to www.basketball.ke, where all the statistics from the national games will be posted before the end of the year. And anybody, all teams that were involved, all stakeholders can go and follow up with how teams were performing on areas free throws, 2-point throws, Coach, 3-point, and they can use this analysis, yes?
Yes.
There was also an interesting bit where if coaches or teams need to know how they can analyze these matches, your expertise are up for use to ensure the development of scores. So maybe you can touch on how we can go about using these statistics and why it's important and how people can reach you for that purpose.
Okay, thank you so much. Statistics plays a key role in basketball, especially when you want to play your next game, plan for your training. It helps you figure out your training program and pattern. Like for example, USIU, the attempt was so high, but the made was so low. That means they need to work hard. Or maybe you can say it was not their luck today. But on these stats, the attempt percentage is higher than the made percentage as compared to ANU.
Yeah.
So this stats, if you need help or someone to come and keep for you, there are people that you can get in touch with to hook you up. They go through and then they analyze for you, then they can do it for you. Then once or twice you do it, it helps you in preparing for your team training, the next game, and especially now that the first leg is getting over of the Kenya National Basketball League. Lastly, stats helps you develop and mold a good player, both on and off court and character-wise. Because with this, you can see how long does a player play. If you find a player played more minutes in the semis than in the finals, there's a reason why you see why was that occurrence coming about.
Yes.
So stats is something that is key and a very crucial data for your improvement, both the game, coming games, previous games, going to playoffs, and training program purposes.
Okay.
It helps teams and coaches analyze and know the weak points of their players, because we have another stats, they're about 7.
Yes.
We have another that shows you the key places where certain player was scoring much. So as a coach, you know this player was scoring so much on the left, 3 points, and on the right. That means he's strong on the left than the right.
Yeah.
So my training, I need to work on his right side on 3 points. Likewise to free throw, you notice they scored better on this court as before they changed.
Yes.
So those are the small logistics that help you. Then when you see
Or in which quarter they came,
yes, in
or
quarters,
they came to.
you find like USIU were leading throughout, and came and picked up, and that thing came in the third quarter. So that means USIU had a gas problem and fatigue, or slowed down. Then Anu picked up in the third quarter, and like you notice, all the Anu games, they picked up in the third quarter.
Always.
They have been struggling with MKU, with the quarterfinals. So this is a good.
And by the way, those stats are there as it is in the scoring by 5 minutes interval. Quarter 1, USIU was leading 11-9, 19-7. Quarter 2, still USIU leading 26-25, and then 39-29. Then the shift start happening in the third quarter going to fourth, where it's now 46-42. Then Anu now start putting some acceleration onto how their interest in retaining the championship. It's 53-50. So again, coach, noting this in the difference in the tempo, first quarter, second, third, and fourth. As a coach, how do you help players manage this in the game, or even training for it leading to the game?
With these stats and the previous one that I saw, the girls, the semi-finals, I've noticed most of the teams' downfall is in the third quarter. That means their condition is low. They need to be conditioned and learn to push, especially in the third quarter. If you see the games from semis, that is most of when you get a true winner.
Yes.
So that means the conditioning of these teams is low and needs to be accelerated. The other thing, it shows that the percentage of shots outside is lower than the percentage of drives. They only drive on breaks. They don't drive when there's a defense. So teams and coaches must learn to pick drives, because anytime when you drive when there's defense, you tend to generate and collect fouls for the opponent. But when you shoot out, you don't collect fouls. And that puts you at a disadvantage, especially the team had big players like both Anu and USIU.
Okay.
Yes.
So how can timeouts play a role in also regulating a surge like this one that Anu made on USIU?
Okay, I think timeout plays to cool down, because if a team gives you a run, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7, you must take a timeout to see either you change the defense, the one that you are playing, you change to another one, or you slow them down.
Okay.
So timeout plays a key role, and at times coaches take too long to take the timeout. By the time they take, it's so little to change. But when you take it early, and players with that tempo, it normally puts them slow down the game. Essence is to slow the other team.
Okay.
Yes, once you slow, it becomes an advantage to you and a disadvantage to the other team. Because they're on tempo and high alert.
Okay.
When you slow them down, by the time they regain, you would have already tried to cut up.
Okay. Somewhat of a contentious situation where I want to put you in a coach, but we are having a lot of foreigners within some of these teams. How is this affecting in the overall building of the next basketball players in the country, and us also just getting comfortable, because we see some amazing results and play here, but these are foreigners coming to the country. How is this affecting or helping shape the next generation of basketballers in Kenya?
Okay, I think it's not bad to have foreigners, but when you have so many, it lowers the standards of the game for the locals. Because when these foreigners come, they get a scholarship, or they finish reading after 4 years, or then they go back. So it becomes so difficult. Our players don't get the exposure So when they get the exposure at the national team level, they can't perform because we gave more of the minutes and airtime to the foreigner who will go play for the national team in their country.
Yes.
So that's a disadvantage to the locals especially. That's why you find most countries like Germany, they normally put a cap that even in club, only 2 foreign teams will play.
Yeah.
The rest have to be the local or a residence.
Do we have such kind of regulations also in the university or even in the national leagues in Kenya?
We don't have that. You see, if we put that, it might disadvantage most of these universities, especially the private. Like USIU is a multicultural university, it picks from all. Unlike most when you compare the locals, majority will be Kenyans. So then they survive and pick more of the foreigners because the foreigner will come and pay on international rates.
Yes. So
that in dollars.
Uh-huh.
So that ones might affect them. Because that's where even they get
the revenue to keep
more
running of the university.
Because your local might not have. The only thing can say that we are giving you a pay plan. We know where we'll get you. But this foreigner, once he goes back, you don't know. So that I think is. But the only thing is we can just have a number at a certain time to play in the court and have more Kenyans playing in, so that it builds our local players and gives them the exposures that is needed.
Yes. You've sparked my interest in coaches' philosophy and how that helps them in dictating how they play the game, make substitution, run the game from beginning to the very end. So in this situation, we have head coach Mike and we have head coach Anset Wafula. What do you know about these coaches and how they go about their tactical play?
Okay, I'll start with Coach Mike. Coach Mike has been with Anu quite a long time. He's been a good season coach. He has coached. I knew him since he was coaching State House Girls. Those many years. Me, I was coaching St. George's. So he's a season coach. He's been Anu the longest. He's the coach I can say has been in one team for the longest time. But he's a seasoned good coach. While Anset is also an assistant coach in the national team. He's been a player in the national team as a player. Okay. He's now a coach.
So he's been at every level as a player now.
He's played also outside. He's played in Uganda. I think he's played in Asia, some countries. So he has played out, and as a Kenyan player, both club, they have won the league. And in the national team. So he's quite a good experienced coach. And he's assistant coach of the national team, current national team. So he's a well-versed coach.
Yes.
Yes.
With all these tactical or different perspectives they have as individuals, it helps in how they build up on their strategies, yes?
Yes.
So what are some of those strategies that help Anu or worked out for USIU in this particular match from your perspective?
Okay. What I think is, in this game, USIU started well, fast in the first half, but Anu came wanting the ball and the game more than USIU, and eventually they took it. So the only thing I would notice with Anu is they're a fast team, but they don't shoot. If they get a team that is tall, they need to shoot to make the defense. If a team is playing a zone defense, I saw when they were playing, the time USIU playing a zone defense, they will not penetrate.
Yes.
But they need now to start penetrating. When they play a team like Thunder, a big team like KPA, they need to open up the zone. The only way you can open up the zone is by shooting. Because once you shoot, you make, they tend to open up and go out. And I can say it's a team that takes selective shots. Unlike USIU, where they take quite a number. Because Anset was one of the best shooters in 3 points and far away. He was one of the best and has played at high level. So I think that maybe they can have gotten it from him. But Anu must drive. USIU, they only had one guard the way I judged that game. The other ones was off because every time the ball was there, going to the other guard, they used to go, put pressure, steal it, and go and score. So USIU, they need to have another guard and work on. Although I noticed, even when I noticed from the start, they didn't use many players. 4 players did not play. So,
and they were in the bench.
And like Anu, they played everybody.
The one that played lowest, system is perfect.
So the rotation system is good. He let everybody play. The one that has played much was 25 minutes. That was Justin Opio. Then followed by Jiril Bieva. And then Isaac Thiek. So you see, he rotated all players. And like USIU, he used 8 players. The 8 players, 5 players played over 35 minutes. And then one played 1 minute and 37 seconds.
Only.
That is so little for a player. Then another one played 7, another one played 6. So my viewing of this stats, the rotation of USIU was not that.
Okay.
Or maybe it was his game plan, but the rotation was not that as compared to Anu. So that's why the tired.
Already I'm having this question, coach. Why would I come with a team of 8+ and then only play 5? What ideology goes into making such a decision in a match?
Okay, it normally depends with the coach, but normally a good game for you to win, you normally use 7 players. But at times, for another standpoint of a coach, you can rotate and use every player. Because at times when you don't use others, they get demotivated. They come, they don't play. You have your usual core players playing. That really affects and makes the players not come. And anytime in training, these players that you give them less time are the ones that always come for training. I don't know how and why. They're the first one, and they always come even training daily. And these other ones, rarely they come. They can come, but not as often so much as these ones.
Okay.
Yes.
Back on the score sheet, coach. What are the importance of things such as the biggest scoring run, biggest lead, lead changes, times they've tied or times they're leading? How important are these information at them?
Okay, this one you see the biggest lead helps a team to know how many points did you take the lead anytime you went ahead. You find Anu had 8 and USIU had 12. Then you see the biggest running score. Anu had 12. They scored 12 points unanswered without USIU scoring, and USIU scored 10. This shows that from 63 to 71 for Anu, and USIU was from 57 to 62. And then you find they changed the leads 9 times. So this means the game could go either way. 9 times is a big number. Then they tied 10 times. So this shows that the game could go either way. It's only that Anu took it much more harder and they carried the day. Then Anu led for 10 minutes and 6 seconds and USIU led for 23 minutes and 46. So this shows that players for USIU had lapses. They need to come and see how to maintain a lead. Yes.
Okay. We are still waiting for the final closing ceremony. So Elizabeth and Evans are still also out moving forward. So we'll wait and see who gets the awarding. But coach, what are some of the key takeaways for each team moving forward after this final?
Okay, I think the key thing is to give these teams more playing games exposure. Anu is in Premier, USIU is in Premier. But for these other universities that came that don't play in the league, they need to go play more of games. Because a player becomes better by playing more than training. Training, I can beat you always, but now playing is when you find out where to correct a player. And also, to have such type of level of like the final game, you need to have more of it. Because you find some games when they play, it's a one-sided game. The game is already decided. Like the ladies' game was for JCOT and USIU, 17 to 70. That disparity is so big. It's so high. Even when you take to your VC, they'll ask you, why did you go and participate?
But would they say they got to the 3rd and 4th or even the final being beaten at that?
Yeah, they would have, but at the end of the day, I know the 3rd and 4th they lost to ZTEC. But you see, it demoralized the players. Because you can imagine 40 minutes, 12 players scoring 17 points. If you divide, that's like each player scored 1 point something.
Only.
So that's something that we should look at. And another thing, our score range is so low. Just this men 70. International level, normally they target 80 and above. Our league, normally a good game you find 45, 50, which is low. So when you go to international with your 50 points in the head, another team reach 80, we normally struggle. So our scoring thing should be always aimed higher.
Another thing, what's the long-term implication of winning or losing at a final for all these teams, men and women, going forward for the season or even preparing for the next championship?
I think the long term is if KUSF can add the number of days, it will make it more competitive and interesting. Because making these teams play 3 games a day is killing these kids. For as long as you say they're young, but they don't give you their best and concentration. And playing in the sun. You know, when you play in an indoor gym, it's different. Basketball is an indoor game. So those are the things that they should do. A team should play 1 game and no more stop it. Because I can attest that most of the teams from out, in their place they play running. When they play stop in here, they find it so difficult. So we should insist even back from the conferences. If they don't have enough team to play the league, they need to play stopping.
Okay.
And then they need to introduce the shot clock. Because if the shot clock was there, the difference would be low. Because there's a time Anu really just kept swung and passing the ball.
Okay.
Even USIU, the other game,
The ladies match, they did that a lot.
You hold the ball for too long,
Okay.
and it's unfair. But when there's a shot clock, you must attempt within 24 seconds.
Okay.
So it puts the game go fast. It puts the players up to think fast and ahead of the coach.
Yes. So we are live on YouTube on B Plus Sports, on Kenyatta University Television, both Facebook and YouTube. So please get there, share some of your sentiments. What were the highlights of some of these matches? We are also on various social media platforms. So reach out to us, engage with Coach Kent, give us your feedback. We might just read this before we end. Coach, in the general university basketball league, what are some of the challenges facing its development?
One, I can go to public universities. They want results, but they don't want to spend. They need to check the welfare of the players. I know their core business is education.
Yes.
This
always is insisted on.
Is key for that education, because you become a vast and a multiple player and a student.
Okay.
Because you see, even when you get a scholarship, it's a student athlete. Students comes first. It's not athlete student.
No. Because you will be penalized as an athlete if you cannot perform as a student.
So you join KU first before you play for KU basketball team. You don't play for KU basketball team, then you join. So the public university should invest in sports. Invest in sports. Choose particular sports. Not all sports. Choose particular sports, but invest in it.
Yeah.
You know that if let's say you win, rugby they are good at and basketball. Stick on those. Another university, stick on hockey and football.
Yes.
But when you pick all and you don't perform on all, it becomes hard.
You end up failing on all. So maybe just from where you are sitting again, what are some of the ways we can improve the overall level so that when we meet here at the national, we are getting the best and the competition will be top notch as is expected of the viewers or general stakeholders?
One is things like scholarships, or they give financial aid to these students. Because they're all students, but these ones are doing sports. They're representing the university in something other than normal being a student in class.
Exactly.
They're doing an extra thing. So they need to be given financial aid or a format of paying at a long term. They can get things like meal vouchers. Because you can find like a university like KU, there are less than 150 students that do sports.
Yes.
And the campus is over 70,000. So for a university to spend that, it will motivate other students. I will see myself different from you.
Yes.
Because all of you came with good grades. But you are doing sports, you are promoting and taking much time on the university to put it on the world map. So scholarship is one of the things to get investors and sponsors to partner with you to go to sports level. Because when you find, like, for example, the courts in KU, and then you go look at the courts in USIU, it's totally different.
Yes.
Most of the students of USIU can come and refuse to play here. But students of KU cannot refuse to play there. So they need to invest on the facilities.
Yes.
Then they need to get equipment enough. Basketball, because you find at times you can come to a team, you find there are 30, they have 2 or 3 basketballs. One is deflated. It hampers training and takes training too long.
To be too long.
Those are the small things that when you do, trust me, is easy.
Yes.
It's easy for growth and to get good results in sports.
Okay. This is the perfect time I also want to point out, Coach, our interest is trying to bridge or bring all these people together, because even in doing media production, such live broadcast, it's equally expensive.
Yes.
But we know there are people whose interest is in ensuring a community of basketballers can be targeted, students' welfare can be kept, can be checked on, so that the overall improvement can happen. So please reach out to us, B Plus Sports, Kenyatta University Recreation and Sports Management Department, KUTV and Radio Service, Black Boy Entertainment. These are all organizations who are already like-minded and trying to bridge or put all these resources together. So for future and subsequent, Coach, we are hoping we can always build up on such kind of thing. Are there any other avenues in which support or incentives that can be put in place to help or again, just to improve the general level of the sport?
There's a way and types of things they can do. First is take if I say the difference between the private universities and public, they take welfare of the players first.
Yes.
As in public, they don't. And public tend to pay. Private don't pay, but they take them in comfortable hotels, they give them buses. But you see, public, by the time you get that bus, the bus has so much duty and so much work. So that's one. And then I know they are cash grind at the moment because they depend mostly on the students and the government funding. And like private, they don't depend on the funding. It's through the tuition and few donors. And so a place like KU, they can go through their former students. They work in very good places.
Exactly.
They can try to work and have partnership. Let's say if you have students that are working with, let's say Safaricom. Come and have an agreement with Safaricom. Tell them for you to come and have your staff learn, master. We're giving you priority, provided they have this certain grade. We'll give you guys priority. So that them, when your students finish, they get a priority of getting employment. That's the only thing where USIU and Strathmore is an edge of a public university. They look for their students placement where to work. They have rapport and companies that they have signed with. If public does that, UON, KU, JQuad, Masinde Muliro, trust me, it will be a game changer. Because it will remove the the burden of the finance. Yes.
Another issue, well, also now we are looking at how to continue with the development of players. How is the recruitment process? I'm sure you've been in the private university space, you've been in the public university space. How is the recruitment always going about in ensuring continuity? Because that's also something else with university. Every 4 years, players come in, players go. How is that process going?
I think the only way is try give scholarship or financial aid. You see, most of the publics don't give scholarships. It's few. KU used to have, I don't know if it's still there, there's Masinde Muliro, but private, they always give scholarship. And you see, they have scholarship from the university, they have scholarship from institutions, there's scholarship from the VC, there's scholarship of the academic. So variety, so a player can get 20 here, 20 here, 20 here. 60% is a lot. And also, their semesters are shorter, they're tri-semesters. It's compared to us where there are two, you've not put long break, and 1 or 2 times strikes also affects it. So those are the things that can help, and especially because in talent, public universities have got a lot of talent because they have so many students. They have all courses where private pick few particular. So this is something that if they go about and start giving scholarships, financial aid, getting a sponsor, telling former students, alumni, where you're working, can you sponsor a girl, a boy, a sports person, a sports lady, a sports... That way can go a long way to help and nurture the game.
Generally, in our side of the world, universities being that community plays a big role in ensuring continuity and development of some of these teams. How important to you can you say having a community? Example, Kenyatta University community supporting this sport, Masinde Muliro, UOM, even that only, the basketball fraternity coming on board to support some of these sports. How important is that, and how can we keep on nurturing that?
I think community plays a key role, and they can help you nurture. And things like merchandise. So like public universities, they don't use merchandise as a way of generating income. Private, they do that a lot. And it goes a long way. Wristband, t-shirt. There's somebody will see you the t-shirt, umbrella, biro. As you find the biros, you find them more in offices than with the students. And the students will market the university much more better than the people who are employed.
The marketers put in those places.
Yes, so you find biros, books, you'll find them more in offices of lecturers, professors, deans, than you find them with the students. So this is a way that helps market and take the university more, become a community-oriented university, more than just say, this is funded by the university, by the government will support it. So they depend so much on the government that also, when the government is at low, they also becomes at
they
low.
Can help generate it for itself. Maybe any other ways that you can think of which we can help in growing the university basketball space?
I think also through such things like media, the social media. This one plays a key role, like what KU TV is doing and Black Boy B+. This is a way because many people will watch, will like, will subscribe. Somebody will say, or a company, I'm interested to invest on this basketball team.
Exactly.
So media, social media takes a long way and helps to improve and generate.
So I'm not sure if you're supposed to end it entirely. Director, end it. But we were just getting warmed up, coach. And so anyway, we are coming to the tail end of this. Anything that you feel we need to focus on in ensuring the university space grows, or even in the National League space, basketball grows to be a bigger and lucrative sport for marketers and even the players themselves?
This one first is a big thank you to Black Boy and Vpot, and then KUTV. And now if we get more sponsors and partners and investors, it can be a good point for now KUTV and Black Boy to go to a conference level of these games before they come to national. Then from there they can tend to see where do we start to support and make it known, because people who didn't know that this can be this till you guys notice and partnered. Now it's noticed, hey, basketball can be this good, can get a good crowd, and then that way you can help and say that choose few universities to see where you can get an investor to come and build an indoor gym. That will help even part of graduation. You can play all indoor games.
Mind you, while we are doing this already, we had a potential with one of the USIU representative, and the potential of how big whatever we are doing can grow too.
Yes. USIU were happy, and they were saying that if they get such a chance, they'll be happy to jump on it.
And we are also looking for such kind of more like-minded partners so that we can continue broadcasting some of these matches on different locations across the country. Yes. I know I don't want to let you go before knowing you have 30 plus experience in the basketball space. How can we improve umpiring and coaching? Because this is also a very integral part in ensuring growth and development continues, not only in Nairobi, but also down at the county level.
Okay, I think what we should do is having more clinics, because you find we have few referees, they often known ones, they ref for long. For us to improve also is to go to the grassroots, Mashinani, get the other ones that come from Migori, Machidamuliro, Siaya, Just, do grow, and then having more clinics frequent. Because this they'll come, officiate, finish, go. Till next year, next championship, again they'll come. But they need to have a clinic where they have a sit down of a day or two. Try to synchronize and have everything in uniformity. This is the way I want you guys to call. This is what I want to do. These are the rules of the international body, federation. But these are now our rules. This is the way we want you to behave with our students. We don't want a referee and umpire to come in late, come in drunk, come in and tidy. Those are the small things.
Looking unfit.
You see, having been professional is the key to any, because a referee sells the game and passes a message to the players and the sponsor. So referees clinic will be good and often, because they don't do in university. High school they do, federation they do, but for university they need, because these players and teams put a lot of work and energy. But will the referee put that energy and work? I'm selected, I know I come, I do a good job, bad job, I told sorry, coach I didn't see that, it ends, I'm paid. You lose, you'll be fired, you'll be told, hey.
Repercussions.
So referees must have responsibility, they must be answerable, just like coaches and players. Players will lose, they'll cry, maybe that player, this is last year, or she's supposed to graduate, she'll never be again. So she said, I wanted to win in my year. So those are the things that we need to see and have it.
So coach, I know you've been fasting all through this process, but you've maintained the energy, you've maintained a sharp mind in breaking down some of these analysis for us. So is there anything that we might not have touched on and you feel we cannot end this 3-day live production without you saying? Plus, I would also just want you to wish all our Muslim brothers out there a happy Eid al-Fitr, and also, just final words.
Okay, thank you so much. What I'll need to say is, we need sponsors, we need partners, investors. Come on this, and trust me, you will love it. You will see it at your sitting room, your living room, or wherever you are, and you will grow the game. And to my Muslim brothers and sisters, I want to wish you a happy Eid. Enjoy. It has been a good Ramadani. Now that some have prayed today, some will pray tomorrow. And to thank the crew that we've worked with behind the scene, on the studio, the media, the cameraman, it's a big thank you. Without you, we would not be here and would not be success. Success is all of us, and the small, tiny is what brings success of this championship. Thank you so much. And KUTV giving us an opportunity.
But also, before I let you go, what are some of your areas of specialty if someone would want to follow up with you past this production?
Okay, I'm a referee, I'm an instructor, I train referees. I coach. I have a ladies team I coach.
Yeah.
Especially coaching ladies and disability sports. Deaf basketball, wheelchair basketball.
Yeah.
That is one of my passion.
Yeah.
Anytime you need, I'll tell you how you can get contacts through KUTV or Black Boy.
Yes.
You can get in touch and see how do we grow this game. You have a player who's there at home. Don't shy away. In 3-4 years, that will be the next superstar.
Exactly.
Everything is just to give it a try and take it. That's what I'm good at, and to try and mentor the young people to come and take the space ahead of us.
Okay. Mine is to say, number one, thank you to the crew that came together to really ensure these productions happen successfully. A lot of heads, a lot of bad blood has happened behind the scene, but that is not to hinder us from ensuring we give you a quality production. So this is not only for now, we are planning to do it for future, and as always, we are calling for more people to come on board to sponsor with us. Moving on, I would want to say a big thank you to the KUSF basketball organization side. They've also made it really conducive for us getting results, getting people we can have interviews with to just get a general feel of how the matches went. I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Dr. Daniel Njenga, sorry. He's the Director of Sports at Kenyatta University, a person who is also without his help, this could not have been possible. Kenyatta University TV and radio, a big thank you. We are juggling in a lot, doing training, doing production, doing live, and doing partnerships, again with like-minded people such as Black Boy. So a big thank you to our director, Mr. Mashua Koinange, all our staff members who are there, Melton in the background, all the training camera people we are having also on ground doing the production and technical side, Evan Sauma in front of screen, an anchor, and also a sports journalist. I want to say a big thank you to the overall Kenyatta University management. Again, without having this facility, this would have not been possible. Dr. Nkatha, Dr. Domi, Edna, I would go on and on, but a big thank you to everyone who is helping us with this. Brainchild behind everything from Black Boy Entertainment, Mr. Mike, a big thank you. I think we talk a lot, we agree, but as always we say we can talk, but actualizing what we've talked is usually the big issue. But the turnaround time between us talking and making this production possible goes a long way. So this is just but the beginning. We are going to be doing a lot in terms of training, documentaries, live production, sports, and anything in between communication, just to ensure we are bridging that gap between students and what's happening in the experience. My name is Boniface Udhiambo. I'm a journalist, I'm a TV producer and director. I'm also a podcaster at Off Pitch Podcast. And this has been a true journey, Coach. I want to say a big thank you. When we were beginning off, I didn't know we'd be getting to doing analysis on basketball, but it's been really amazing. My in-depth knowledge on basketball and university basketball ecosystem has just grown even better. My interest in bridging sports and media has equally been strengthened by what we've been doing here. The production team, Elizabeth, Pauline, Auma, technical director Ian, technical director Melton, the CEO himself Mike, Levi, Penton, Kelvin, Eric. My goodness, I am forgetting a couple of others. Oh, our statistician Vic. If I didn't mention you, we need to talk. But again, these links are there on YouTube. The conversation carry on. The interest is still bridging and ensuring we can grow or make the sports and basketball in specific much better. Until our next live production, it's been a pleasure. Collaborative partnership here, which we hope will make this conversation better, understanding better, and also bridge the gap for those who are not here. Another thing, Coach, we bridged across Africa, not only Kenya.
Yes.
We were in Egypt, you were in Mozambique, and a couple of other regions which we will do the statistics after. So it means, again, whatever